You'll be able to get help growing your business from zero to hero. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to get started in 1 second, so kindly bear with me. Please turn off your cameras, gentlemen, and we are going to get started in literally 1 second. You've reached Startup Growth Q&A, and we do this every Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. UK time. This is our 134th session. We've been doing these for almost 4 years now, and the idea is quite simple. You see, unfortunately, over 90% of startups fail. And the top 3 reasons for that are 1, market fit, 2, running out of money, and 3, not having the right people. But guess what? It all comes down to one thing, whether you survive and make it, and not just survive actually, but whether you thrive or not. It all comes down to one thing: your ability to sell your product or service to enough people. Now, we've got quite a team today. We've got 5 people on our panel, and they're willing to take any questions you may have in order to take your business from 0 to here. By the way, those questions could be on anything to do with growth. That's from user acquisition, vendor, partner, client acquisition, perhaps just go to market, growth hacks, or maybe just generic sales, marketing, advertising, branding, and all that jazz. You see, there are no wrong questions, and there's no need to be shy. There is one thing, however, that we are unable to monitor your questions via the live streams that we're on now. So whether you're tuning in via LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, unfortunately, we are unable to see your questions there. However, if you do want to ask our brilliant panel any questions, what you'll have to do is go to a link that I put on all of those live streams. There's a link to our Microsoft Teams conversation. You click on that link, and then it's a quick registration. You get an email with the access link, and you're in with us. By the way, it's audio only, so it means you can join us from anywhere via any device. We're going to be here for the next hour now, where we'll take any questions that you may have. The idea is quite simple. If you are in the Microsoft Teams call, all you have to do is type your question in the chat, and then I'll give you the mic and you have the floor to ask our panel. Again, if you're tuning in via the live streams, unfortunately, we're unable to monitor your questions. And if for any reason you actually have trouble with the links that I've put on those live streams, you can always go back to our website, startup2scaleup.club, and through there, you'll be able to simply click on Startup Growth Q&A 134, which is today's session, and then through there, you'll be able to, again, click join, quick registration, and then you're in here with us on Microsoft Teams. Now, in terms of how this goes, we're going to keep it very simple. We'll go through some quick introductions. Then our panel, after those introductions, again, will take turns in giving us what are their biggest do's and don'ts when it comes to early stage growth. And then after that, we will open it for questions from the floor. By the way, if you've got questions today that are not on growth, please save them for the other conversations we have. So to give you an idea, we run 6 regular events. On Mondays, it's talent. On Tuesdays, it's product and tech. On Wednesdays, as you can see today, it's growth. On Thursdays, it's fundraising. And on the second Friday of the month, we've got one on legal, UK startup law, that is. And on the third Friday of the month, we've got one on UK startup finances. They're all from 12 to 1 p.m. UK time, and you can RSVP to any of them via our site startup to ScaleUp.club. By the way, when you're there, you might want to join our WhatsApp group. It's very simple. There's an icon of our WhatsApp both on at the top of your page as well as at the bottom. You just click on that and you'll be able to join us. Now, without further ado, I guess it's time for some quick introductions. My name is Anton Call. I'm an Albanian in London working with startups. Normally, right after they get investment, I embed within their teams and help them hire and keep the right people. I also do some growth advisory work for a few other startups and accelerators. And especially lately, I've been helping some angels and family offices with their due diligence and assessment. And I hope I've got it right. Let me just see what the order of the gentlemen that joined is. So I think we can start with Zohe, Tom, Michael, Martin, and Jimmy, please. Take it away, lads.
Hi, everyone. This is Zohe Mustafa. I run a growth hacking agency called Growth Hacker. I've been working in digital and marketing and growth for a very long time, both corporate and startup, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, Anton. Sorry, give you. Hi, everyone. It's
no, don't worry. Take it away, Tom.
Here, thank you. So I'm a revenue operations professional, and I also do fractional CRO, CSO work with startups as well. Generally speaking, working with technology startups and helping them get their sales and marketing functions and processes set up in their businesses. So happy to be helping today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for.
Hi, shall I go next? Michael Stewart. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I suppose it's lunch afternoon now. Good afternoon. I'm based in York in the UK. I work as a fractional marketing director, chief marketing officer. I help businesses put together action-orientated business plans that are focused on the vision for a business, and as part of that, I help businesses to formulate that vision about what does success look like, what do they want to be famous for, and in that way you can help start to build a business culture as well, and that's something that I do speaking about as well, so business culture.
Thank you very much for that, and I believe now it's Martin, and then after that it's Jimmy.
Hello, everyone, and Marcin Kirdelevich here. I'm the founder and the CEO at Biami.io. Anton, thanks for inviting me again. Happy to help. At Biami, what we do is using our own technology, we build AI-powered platforms for various different business process automations. We do have a growth platform, we have RevOps platforms, and so on. And yeah, I'm happy to kind of help a startup community to with kind of advisory, just purely to kind of help and share my experience. That's like over 25 years, and yeah, just to help and share here.
Thank you very much, Martin. Last but not least, Jimmy, please.
Yeah, hi everybody. Great to be here. I spent 25 years in various roles across public sector, and then selling technology solutions for companies like O2, Telefonica, and Microsoft. Spent a couple of years then in venture capital. Post that, investing into early stage tech businesses. And then more recently have started my own tech startup, which measures the economic impacts that companies create. And I'm scaling that at the moment. Also authoring a book called The No Risk Startup as well, on how to start a business without losing your job.
Thank you very much for that, Jimmy. Thank you to all of you, gentlemen. And again, for those of you that I can see on the live streams, just remember, unfortunately, we're unable to monitor your questions there. So if you do want to ask our panel anything, you would have to come and join us here on Microsoft Teams. You can do that two ways, either by going to a link that I've put on all of those live streams, click on that and then click join, or by going onto our site, startup to ScaleUp.club. You find today's session, which is Startup Growth Q&A 134, and then click join NA. Quick registration will then get you an email that has a direct link to here. Now, if we can perhaps have some do's and don'ts, and I guess we'll start from the last person that spoke, Jimmy, and then in that order that they spoke earlier. So it would be Jimmy, Martin, Michael, Tom, and Zoe. Keep it to under a minute, please, gentlemen, if you can. What are your biggest do's and don'ts? And Jimmy, since you mentioned your book, in terms of doing this or starting at least to get to see some traction or whether it has legs or not, you might want to focus on that. What do you reckon are do's and don'ts on that front? And then the others, just focus on whatever your expertise is, if you want, in terms of maybe one do and one don't each, please, gentlemen. So Jimmy, Martin, Michael, and I think then after that it was Michael, Tom, and Zoe, please.
Great. Well, yeah, my biggest do is to really understand the problem you're solving. Absolutely nail down your problem statement, and who you're solving it for, and then validate that. And my don't to counter that would be don't leave it late to start selling. You should start selling from day one. As soon as you know what your problem is, as soon as you know who your customers are, start testing that, start talking to people, see who will pay for it. It's never, ever too early to start selling. A lot of mistakes I see people make is that they are waiting till the product's finished, or waiting till this feature's developed, or waiting for whatever it might be. So it's never, ever too early to start that selling process.
Thanks, Jimmy. So Martin here. So if we need to keep it short, within under the minute, then it's going to be probably one do and one done from me. So one do is actually, it's very generic, but do something, I would say. Don't wait with your actions. You know, if you have a great idea for your startup, just make sure that every day you'll spend some time on doing something, and that consistency and, you know, incremental actions will actually, you know, take you there. In terms of a don't underestimate the feedback that you're getting from, you know, early clients, friends, and people around you. And that's probably a don't, I would say. Of course, you're going to have a lot of people that will not believe in your vision as much as you do, and you can ignore these. But, you know, the people that really listen to you and give you feedback, etc., you know, that gives you very often a different perspective and some, you know, additional information about, you know, how you could benefit from building your startup. So do not underestimate the feedback you're getting. Those are usually the people that want to help you at the early stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Yep.
Hi, it's Michael. So I think it was Jimmy that spoke first, and he talked about what problem you're solving and getting that nailed down. I think absolutely right. You need to understand what it is that you're doing and who you're doing it for, and then absolutely focus on sales and marketing, because most businesses don't have enough people looking. It's a numbers game. You've got to talk to 100 people to get 10 people interested to get one person to buy, or whatever your numbers are. So you need to focus on those numbers and focus on sales and marketing, which is, again, something that was reiterated, but it also comes to getting into the deep end. Do the stuff that's uncomfortable for you. It might be really easy to set up systems. It might be really easy to hire people, but you can't do anything without sales. So you need to get some impetus and get some momentum and get some cash into your business. Then the don't for me is don't think like a person, think like a business. When you start to get some money into your business, that's business money that can be invested in the business. Don't think, well, that's £500 of my money, and that would be half a holiday or whatever it is. Think like a business. Think, where can I put that money? Where can I invest that money that I can get a return on it? Investments are always about getting a return. You got to spend it wisely, but don't think like a person that it's your money. It's the business's money, and you invest that money to make more money back into the business. That's it from me for now.
It's Tom here.
Thank you. Yep.
So I think my do would be taking a slightly different angle to some of the other guys, but Michael did just mention it then, is I would say try and measure everything from day one as much as you can, especially when it comes to sales and marketing, because the data that you'll be collecting over time will help you to drive your decisions. And for example, conversion metrics, which Michael alluded to a minute ago, is something that will help you drive your business longer term when you start to figure out which channels work for you and which approaches work best. And you can start to compare one to the other, and you're testing across lots of different areas to try and get the door in as many different ways as possible. Those points of comparison will ultimately be what helps you drive your investment decision making. It doesn't have to be complicated, simple spreadsheets, but you'll thank yourself later for keeping track from day one. I think the don't for me is, don't search for perfection in what you're doing. A couple of the guys have mentioned it already. You need to get out there and do what you can, knowing that you're not going to be perfect at everything. There's no such thing as a unicorn person that can do absolutely every element of a business, from finance and HR through to sales and marketing. Don't search for perfection. Get out there and try and do what you can, and then you'll learn very quickly where you need to backfill expertise in your business with other people or other agencies or consultants. Those are my do's and don'ts.
Thank you very much, Tom. And last but not least, Zohir, what is your do's and don'ts, or do and don'ts rather?
Yeah. Hi. Lots of good points made already. I will focus on brand and identity and positioning. Be crystal clear on your message, and be crystal clear that you understand your own message, how you're positioning yourselves, what is the problem you're solving, etc., and your identity, colors, fonts. Make it consistent. Make it nice to look at. Don't do the opposite. Do not have a confused brand identity. You're building a business, you're trying to generate sales, you need marketing, you need channels, but your identity needs to be clear to people, I think. People buy brands, people buy brands they recognize, that kind of thing.
Well, thank you very much to all five of you gentlemen. A quick reset of the conversation before we go on to Sunny, who's put a question in the chat here. Just a quick reminder, I can see quite a few people in the streams. If you're tuning in via LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, please be aware that we unfortunately are unable to monitor your questions there. And I know you may have your reasons why you want to stay there, but you want to come and join us here. So please bear that in mind. There's a link to the live streams on, to the Microsoft Teams call on all of those live streams. But if for any reason you can't get through to it, then simply go to our website, startup2scaleup.club, find today's session, which is Startup Growth Q&A 134, where you'll be able to click join. It's a quick registration. You then get a link to your to your email, basically, with the Microsoft Teams link to join us. And then when you're here, you'll be able to type your question in the chat. We'll give you the mic and you can ask the team here. Today, we are helping founders with growth. So hopefully to try and take you from 0 to hero. And those questions, by the way, today are anything to do with growth. There are no wrong questions. It's a learning curve for us and for you. But the idea is that you can ask us anything from, I don't know, let's say user, vendor, partner, client acquisition, to growth hacks, go-to-market partnerships and strategies, or maybe just generic sales, marketing, advertising, or branding. Literally anything's a go. We are, however, only going to be here now for the next 41 minutes, and that goes way faster than you think. So please, if you do have any questions, just join us here and type your question in the chat as soon as. If your questions, by the way, are on other matters, please then go to our website and RSVP to the other stuff that we do. We run 6 regular sessions: Monday's talent, Tuesday's product and tech, Wednesday's growth, and Thursdays fundraising. They're all from 12 to 1 p.m. UK time, and you can RSVP, as I said, via our website. And actually, when you're there, you might want to join our WhatsApp group. You'll find an icon at the top and bottom of the screen. As for the others here, please keep your mics off if you're not speaking, because it creates an echo. And now, without further ado, Sunny, please introduce yourself and maybe either read the question or reformulate it however you want to our team here.
And yeah, thank you. Thanks for bringing me up on stage. It's good to see this running, because I remember sort of coming in the clubhouse rooms, and I think you did pass a connection on. His name was Jagvinder before, but yeah, no. My question was introduction about myself is.
Please do.
So a few years back, we sold a medical recruitment business for £17 million, and after that, I went into working for like charities and charities and non-profits, and it's sort of after that I got to experience that. I had like recommendations of people passing on my name for like contracting, consultancy, and advisory, and there was a lot of action that was taken from there, but it's always been off like sort of a recommendation, a referral off my own back. And I originally am a marketer. I've had a marketing agency over 7-8 years, and then I've transitioned into tech now, and sort of working on a mental health meditation app. But what I've been told multiple times by different people is to get into consultancy, and previously I've consulted for like BBC, eBay in the USA, and also NHS. And I feel like even though these are like big client names and whatnot, there's never been consistency in there, with like sort of the contracting jobs, very sporadic. But because I've got sort of some of the big names behind me, I think it's just imposter syndrome of like coming forward into the world, having like my own brand and website out there, because I have run a marketing agency, had payroll employees, but it's me putting other people on rather than putting myself on. So my question would be, what's the best way to position yourself as sort of a consultant into getting contract work? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Sunny. And that's a very good question, and one that a lot of people face. Sunny, do you mind if I ask you, when was it that you sold that recruitment company?
29, just before COVID hit, 2019. So
just before. And how many founders were there?
There were it was 2 brothers, and then yeah, it was 2 brothers, which were the 2 founders, and they brought me in to head up the marketing, and was sort of responsible for like we opened up offices in like South Africa, Dubai, so we had to fly out there.
Did you have any shares in it? Did you have any share? Did you have any shares? No.
No, it was just a payout. Yeah, I got additional payout towards the end of when it sold. I got married and bought property, and yeah, so there was a reward, but it was more the 2 founders were actually friends from my sort of childhood that I got recommended to get involved with them, and we all won together, if you know what I mean. And
yeah, of course, that makes sense, and that's commendable.
Routes, yeah, everyone's gone through, and like some have become investors, people that are involved. Some have like become silent partners and different things. And I've always been obsessed with tech and whatnot, and I think I just get lost in the detail, but the talent is there. That's more about putting myself out there. Yeah.
I hear. Okay, I'll give you my quick 2 pence and then pass you on to the expert. Number 1, just remember, everybody that you come across, however confident or legit or however you want to put it, or polished that they look, when they go home and no one's looking, I guarantee you each and every one of them will speak to somebody, or wish they could speak to somebody and tell them about whatever weakness they have in that. So everyone, one way or another, however oblivious they are about their weaknesses and the world, everyone's going through that. My advice is this: rather than trying to be a consultant about anything and everything, focus on one thing you yourself know that you can do best. Once you focus on that, then just go to the people that have tried you on that one thing and just find a way to give them an incentive either to rehire you or to find another client. Just find one thing that you are better and you know you're shit hot on that compared to everything else you do, and just focus on that one bit at a time. But I'd love to hear what the chaps here got to say. So again, we'll start in the same order. Please keep it to a minute or under. Gentlemen, this time I'm going to time everybody. So we'll start with Jimmy, Martin, Michael, Tom, and Zoe. No, I'm not going to time you, but please do keep it to a minute. Jimmy, are you with us, buddy?
Hi, Anton. That's fine. Yeah, no, I just want to say, yeah, no, thank you for your advice. I think you're right, and it's about spreading yourself too much and not too thin, and like sort of niching down and focusing on the one thing that I truly enjoy. Because yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. This master of none. It's that saying, master of everything, master of jack of all trades, but master of none. And yeah, I
believe
agree
me,
that,
I've been there numerous times, Sandy. So I know how it feels. Unfortunately, you are right about that. But Jimmy now is able to talk. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, hi. I think Anton's absolutely spot on that everybody kind of has something they're venturing into that they don't know or don't understand or feel unprepared for, but you learn along the way. So I wouldn't worry about that. You just need to know more than the people that you're consulting for. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know a bit more than they're consulting for. What I would do is try and link it back. So the investment thesis that I used to operate under was I loved services-based businesses that then digitized and productized what they did, because they took forwards domain knowledge, they took forwards early potential customers, and they also knew exactly what they were doing. So I think whatever your tech product is, presumably you've got a lot of knowledge in that space and that problem you're solving. So I would be looking at consulting around that or something that's very adjacent to it, and then using that to validate and build out whatever your tech solution is, but secondly, build that early pipeline for that tech solution. So that's
sorry, Jimmy, just to clarify, Sunny isn't offering a product, to my understanding. Now he's doing the consulting part of it.
Well, I thought he just said that he was trying to build a tech product as well.
Where are you, Sunny?
Yeah, so no, so
I'm sorry. I misheard you.
Sorry, Anton. Yeah, no, he's correcting what he's saying there. So I've been trying to build the tech product and it is near ready, but I was going to use the tech product because I've got a lot of like sort of cold email system locked in where it's sending over to 5,000-6,000 leads, and it's just what you're saying there, but you're right about the tech product. Yeah, it's because I come from healthcare recruitment, and within healthcare, the reason why it sold for like sort of 8 figures was we were using early AI technologies. At that point, it's GPT-2, and now GPT like sort of 5 will come out, and I feel like my experience I had back then can be communicated more clearly. And what you're saying there about sort of building the solution out and building it on top of that, I agree with the pipeline on that side. But yeah, Anton, I'm on the consultancy side. I'm just like sort of not, I wouldn't say struggling. On the tech side, I'm winning, like building, and that's what I enjoy the most. But I think this year what I found out is I used to be an operator in my past life, and now I'm a builder, and it's just I feel not lost.
In that case, yeah, again, it's because you're trying to do everything, Sonny. Just focus on one thing. Now, I understand if you're trying to build and you need money to pay a mortgage and put food on the table for your family, then hell yeah, absolutely. Go out there, do consulting, make money on the side. But I have a feeling here from what you're telling us, you're trying to do everything and kind of cater to all sorts of ideas. And believe you me, I've been there, unfortunately, more than once. I, haven't really learned my lesson, and that is a recipe for disaster. Take it from somebody who's had multiple disasters so far. Let's hear what the others got to say. So let's go on to Martin, then Michael, then Tom, and then Zoe, please.
Thank you, guys. And Marcin here. Well, I really agree with what Anton says in terms of your focus. I think you need to make that decision that you do one thing or another. And look, doesn't mean that you cannot benefit from both. But if you've got enough money to outsource one of them, then like outsource and then focus on one. Obviously, you cannot really outsource your own consulting. So let me kind of focus on how to build the consulting part. But look, I really think from consulting perspective, it's much easier than a lot of people think, because you don't need to build a lot. You really are looking for 1 or 2 clients at the time, and that should be your focus. Okay, once you're 1-2 clients that can hire you on a fractional basis. So the way to do it is what Anton also mentioned a little bit. Which I would call build your own CV. Build your own expertise of like what you're doing. You want to be better than others, so obviously include AI in that. Everybody who's doing consulting now and doesn't mention AI, it's like kind of losing. AI is the best marketer for consulting businesses these days. Then obviously build your network. If you're gonna sell to B2B businesses, go on LinkedIn, build your network, post thought leadership content on LinkedIn so people can actually see it and kind of talk to you about it. But again, you will not need hundreds of conversations. You just need few conversations, good quality, so you can get 1-2 clients. And the easiest way to do it is go call your friends and ask for referrals. I still find that this is like the easiest way for people to get the jobs. And most of partners that we have are doing at Miami are doing fractional, like a growth consulting. And believe me, very often we just call our friends when we find whoever needs a specific program, hire them, and happy days. That's my advice.
Thank you very much, Martin. Michael.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to say thank you to Martin for that advice. That really stuck with me. Thank you, Martin, for that. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Couple of things. I've always focused the fractional work I do just under my brand, so I don't have a business. I don't pretend that it's a business. People are buying me, and I want people to buy me because I want me to be sat on their side of the table. That's how I do it. So you've got to decide whether you're doing your tech startup. That's great. That's over one side. But when you're yourself, you've got to decide whether you want to build a business or you just want to do this yourself. And if you're doing it yourself, make it about you. I think if you've done some marketing, so you understand marketing, so go back to basic principles. We talked about it before. What is the problem that you solve? Be very clear about that problem and who has that problem. They're going to be your target market, but there's an old adage in terms of creating marketing messaging that starts with a problem. Outline the problem. Are you confused? I don't know what you do. Sunisa, just bear with you. I've just constructed something on the fly. Are you confused about what the opportunities for AI are in your business? That's the problem, because you want people to go, yes, I am. That's me. Then you make them a promise. I can come in and do A, B, C, D, and E, and that will help you understand this. That's the promise that you make. They then need the proof, which is your CV. I've done this for so-and-so. I've done this for so-and-so. I talk about the 60 businesses that I've worked with over the 15 years, but just be very simple and very clear, because you want people to go, yes, I have that problem. You sound like you're going to give me a solution, and that's what you do. My final thing would be 2 things. First of all, give value in your conversations. Give generously in your conversations. Show your expertise and give generously online as well. Create content. It doesn't have to be beautiful content. We talked earlier about action. Get out there, give some content. Finally, give people something to buy, whether that is 3 hours of paid work to start with, and then you can scope out what a consultancy exercise might look like, but give people something to buy so that they can go, that's a low involvement, low risk kind of thing. It gives you an opportunity to show your expertise. And that for me would be a formula that and some of the steps that I would advise you to follow. Hope that helps.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much,
it helps
Michael.
massively.
Let's now go on to, I believe it was Tom, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Tom.
Sure. Hey, Sonny. So I think just to broaden it out a little bit further into once you've kind of established what you want to offer, and Michael's advice there was great in terms of kind of setting up your position and what your product is, and you mentioned content there. So my kind of main aim for this year, I've been doing this now for 5 years, but I've never really focused on content. Tried a podcast, went in during COVID and did a few episodes, and I've never really stuck at any kind of consistent content. But I came across a framework called the 7-11-4 framework, which you guys might also have heard of before as well. So most customers want to engage with the brand through 7 hours of content across 11 separate touch points on 4 different channels or platforms, or in 4 separate locations. And so the reason why, for example, I'm doing what we're doing right now today is this is one channel through which I can engage for an hour with my audience, right? And if I can rack up enough hours across enough different touch points, then people start to understand me, they start to understand my story, what I can offer, the value that I have to bring. So I think, yeah, once you've kind of got that niche, you've built out your product offering, you know what you want to go to market with, focus on especially if it's a personal branded consultancy business like most of the guys on the call have, really focusing on that content and how you distribute that across as many channels and repeat that story as many times as you can. It gets you top of mind for people, and gets them thinking about you first when they think about the problem statement that you have to solve for.
Thank you very much, Tom. And last but not least, Zohe. And as Zohe gives his answer, I've put a question that was sent in to us in the chat. So if you can read that, not out loud, obviously, and then I will read it after we have helped Sonny.
So we're talking about the advisory consultancy question, right?
Yes, indeed, Zohe. Yeah,
not the NHS one.
No, not yet. So, but that I was just telling.
Exactly, okay, that's cool.
I was just telling everyone to keep an eye on that so that I can then.
On the advisory consultancy thing, I mean, I'm in a similar place, trying to build up a pipeline. Building up a pipeline, etc. How I'm approaching it is via content, via LinkedIn, trying to post regularly, building a community on there. That's the long-term vision. And then the same thing with brand identity. It helps if people begin to recognize who you are, not just by what you say, but how you look. And what I'm seeing lots of other sort of consultants, creators on LinkedIn doing similar things. And so yeah, and that's what I say is jump on a platform and become known there. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, thank you so much. So from like everyone's sort of condensing what everyone's saying, it's like more stepping into like a leadership position and being like a brand authority. Your original sort of question that was asked, like, can you do consultancy against your own name as you only? Because I've always done multiple businesses, but from hearing the conversation today, it's given me so much clarity that I can go off my own back as a personal brand, and the growth is LinkedIn. Yeah, completely understand. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Sonny. And just focus on one thing, buddy, and I'm sure you'll smash it out the water. So best of luck, and do feel free to join us again. We'd love to hear on your progress, man. Right, yeah. Quick reset. Good man. quick reset of the conversation, and then we'll go on to the next question. This is Startup Growth Q&A, our 134th session. We've been doing these for almost 4 years now, and we've had over 270,000 people come through this, and we've helped at least a good 2,000 founders in the process, and we've done it for free. None of that would have happened without people like our panelists today, Jimmy, Martin, Michael, Tom, and Zoe. So please show them your love, follow them on LinkedIn, and reach out to them if there's anything you need. Obviously, they do this for free, so they don't have to do or keep doing other stuff for free, so bear that in mind. But otherwise, also, please, if you're finding any value in what we're discussing here, please do share this, because despite having had over 270,000 people join us, I think we need all the help we can get to spread the word now, because we've had to change platforms a few times lately, so we're just picking up again on that pace. Today, we're helping you with any questions you have on growing your business. So that could be user, vendor, partner, client acquisition, growth hacks, go-to-markets, strategies or partnerships, really, sales, marketing, advertising, branding, and all that jazz. There are no wrong questions or right ones for that matter. It's a learning curve for you and for us as well. So just a reminder, if you're tuning in via LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, there's no point in messaging me or commenting there, because unfortunately we're unable to monitor your questions live there. So you'll have to join us here on Microsoft Teams. It's audio only, so you don't need to do your hair or wash your shirt, as somebody told me today that they'd washed their shirt or worn a clean shirt to be here. The idea is quite simple. You can tune in from anywhere via any device. Once you're here on our Microsoft Teams call, then just type your question in the chat and you will be able to get the mic and ask the panel. By the way, if you've got questions on other matters today, please save them for the other conversations we run. Mondays is talent, Tuesdays product and tech, Wednesdays, as you can see today, is growth. Thursdays, which is tomorrow, we've got a huge and brilliant panel of investors. So that's fundraising. Then second Friday of the month, it's UK startup law. And third Friday of the month, it's UK startup finances. They're all from 12 to 1 p.m. UK time, and you can RSVP to any of them via our website. And actually, when you're on that site, you might want to join the WhatsApp group. There's an icon of it at the top and one at the bottom of it with the WhatsApp image, basically. You click on that and you can join. Now, I would love to go through another question after this, please, panel. So let's all keep it to 1 minute each, and that's pretty much it. So the next question is from a lady in Bristol. She says, we're a health tech startup in Bristol going for Series A. So I'm assuming she's planning to raise that, offering a B2C platform that connects NHS patients with private physical therapy providers. Despite initial traction, our acquisition costs are ballooning as we try to reach older demographics unfamiliar with digital healthcare. What specific cost-effective techniques can we implement to grow our user base amongst these less tech-savvy groups? And I'm going to start with perhaps one of the most AI-driven, at least from what we see online, out of the panelists, and that is Zoe. Then we can go to Tom, then we can go to Michael, and I believe then it's Martin, then it's Jimmy. Take it away, please, fellas. Your 1 minute of glory starts now.
So just to be clear, we're covering the B2C NHS platform, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's asking basically how to reach other demographics, because acquisition cost, as in per client, it's spiraling, and she's literally just leaking money.
Yeah. So I have I've dealt with healthcare. I've dealt with sort of care providers. I'm also explored care solutions for elderly parents. And you're right. They're from a digital perspective, they're not at all savvy. You know, they struggle with email, they may have other channels. I would recommend three things. Number one, direct mail. Good old-fashioned direct, non-digital direct mail. You can have a digital call to action, for example, on the leaflet or whatever that you distribute. I would look at WhatsApp marketing. Quite a few of that demographic, I would say, are using WhatsApp. They're familiar with it. It's not too difficult for them to use. They're used to receiving messages on it from their care providers. And finally, I would talk about, I would look at Facebook. Okay, Facebook is now the granddad's network, I would say, and the groups, the local groups. So, you know, look at the group for your London Borough, Edgware, or, you know, Barnet or Brent. Look at local town groups, Facebook groups, because they are on there. I guarantee you, and they're engaging in those groups. Those are the three areas I would focus my acquisition on, and stop everything else.
Tom here.
Yes, Tom. Yep.
Thanks, Anton. So I think putting digital to one side, the kind of old school way of doing things is to physically go to the places where your audience is located, right? So obviously in the B2B world, which is where I mostly play, it's trade shows and events and those types of situations. Obviously in this space, it's going to be slightly different, but if you think about where your audience gathers, in the same way that the audience may gather in a Facebook group or a you know, WhatsApp group digitally, they also physically gather in particular places. They try to be present in those places and directly physically advertise in those spaces. I think the other way is via partnerships. So again, it could be the owners of the physical spaces where these activities take place. It could be the people that run the events where these people are attending, etc. So if you can engage with those partners and build a partnership where they can sell on your behalf, or they're at the very least willing to put your marketing materials in front of the audience, whether that's paid or through some kind of exchange, then, you know, it's kind of going back to the old school way, let's say the non-digital way, but for that particular type of audience that maybe isn't in the digital space, it's certainly still valid and could generate some results for you.
Thank you very much for that, Tom. I believe it's Michael now.
Always helps if I turn my microphone on, doesn't it? There we go. Okay, so it's a little difficult without knowing what your cost of acquisition is and the level of budget you've got to spend and the numbers that you're trying to do. But just picking up on a couple of things. As always, can you give some sort of value? Can you get some data in some way, shape or form so that you can continue to market to people? That's something that I would suggest. So something that's downloadable. You might want to think creatively. They may not need what you offering at this point. It's always about moments of truth, and so if you stay front of mind, there may be a point when they use your service, etc. When I talk about thinking creatively, Pampers created a baby name generator. So they didn't try and sell nappies. They tried to help people to design a baby name, choose a baby name, but that gave them data which they could then market to. So can you think of something creatively? And then just picking up, I think it was Tom that said about partnerships and things like that. Dispatch leaflets that go with people that do stuff on mail order or home shopping. Stick an A5 leaflet in with parcels that go out with, I don't know, slippers in them or whatever it is that we need. And there may be some sponsorship opportunities if you've got the money, but be creative again. Don't advertise in a magazine, but they still read magazines. Sponsor the word puzzle or something like that. There may be that you can do that for a relatively small amount, but if you can stay there all year and be the people that sponsor the crossword or whatever in the magazine, then that might be something that you can do. So just trying to think a bit differently to what the guys have said. Very valid what the guys have said, but just trying to think differently.
Thank you very much, Michael. Martin.
Thanks, Anton, and thanks everybody for sharing their experience. Very quickly, there's a lot of ideas I have, but I'll give you top 3 here. For this type of a business, I think if you're building a network of those therapy providers, they're actually running businesses. Those are like physical locations that they have. So have leaflets and ask them to distribute those leaflets for the clients. I would come up with an idea of creating some sort of stickers on the doors or windows with those practices, so they can people can learn and recognize the brand. And last but not least, I would say offer some referrals to those clients. If you have a different audience, like a non-digital, they still will have networks and still that are looking for different type of services that you're going to offer. So they will always value some extra money in their pockets. So kind of come up with, I don't know what you can do, between 10-50 pounds referrals for your platform. And those are like the top 3 recommendations I would do. There's much more that you can do on the what we call the B2B2C path, but yeah, that's what I would do. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, your 1 minute of glory starts now, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's given you some good advice about what to do next. The thing I would think about is there's a couple of things. I don't know if you've read it or not yet, but there's a book called Traction, which talks about the 19 different traction channels you can explore, and how to think about which ones you can try and monitoring them to make sure that they're being effective. So I'd highly recommend reading that if you haven't, because it will help you explore some different options that people have talked to about today. But the other thing is I would very, very quickly, and I'm guessing you have this already, but I'd very quickly look at your data of what the ROI is you're getting on the different ads, digital channels, whatever it is you're running, and whichever are not effective, turn them off immediately. So that's what I would be thinking about, is focus on stopping the bleeding whilst you're also thinking about how you market to more people.
Here, thank you very much to all 5 of you. I would only add 2 things. Go and sponsor bingo nights at your local bingo, and also put up banners on local corner shops. Focus on those 2, and I think you wouldn't do too badly. Now, we've got 7 minutes to go, and I really want to go through one more question. So I hope this time we can all adhere to 1 minute each and not longer than that, please, gentlemen, so we can hear the last question. I will put that in the chat right now, and I'll read it out loud for those of you that are tuning in via the live streams. We're an agri-tech startup in Cambridge preparing for Series A, providing AI-powered pest monitoring systems for small farms. Whilst our technical reports appeal to agricultural specialists, they fail to resonate with independent farmers who are less familiar with the technology. How can we develop a content marketing approach that includes simple how-to videos, or perhaps testimonial-rich blog series and downloadable checklists to educate and engage small farmers, ensuring they see the practical everyday benefits of adopting our systems? So this time we will start with Jimmy, then Martin, then Michael, then Tom, then Zoe. You've got less probably than 1 minute, so take it away, gentlemen.
I mean, you've sort of answered your question a little bit in the question as well. If it sounds like you know what you need to do. If your question's about how do you create those things, then you've got the content and there's plenty of tools out there that can
Let's focus on that, please. Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, and video and record those things, and build that out. So I mean, there's millions of tools out there. You Google it, there'll be 100 YouTube videos and 100 advisors who can tell you how to do that. So I think that's not a hard one to solve. What I think you want to think about is kind of your 3 stages of your funnel in terms of your marketing. So it sounds like you've got your technical documents, which will be really great for people that already get the problem, but then you need to move up the stack to say, well, what's the thing I give to people to get them to that stage where they're introduced to this technology, but they need to understand it in more detail. And then you move up another level from that. At the top of your funnel is, how do I introduce people to this concept at all to educate them? So if you think about those 3 stages of funnel and creating content and magnet leads for each of those, that's what I would be doing.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. Martin, best way to create them, what to create, and how to distribute it in under 1 minute.
Yeah. Look, I think you will get a lot of advice on this. This is simple. You Google and you will find out. You just need to build the platforms, or buy the platforms or tools to distribute. There's plenty of them. I actually just want to add maybe one thing. You said that the small farmers are not familiar with technology. I kind of disagree. I think everybody's looking for a way of improving, their farms. So yeah, not much advice on my end. I think it's all available and been said like hundreds of thousands of times. But yeah, create digital and then be consistent.
Thank you very much, Martin. Michael, how to create them, how to distribute them, and what to create?
Yeah, you start with the content from my perspective. And when you've got a piece of content, you can then go, what's the right format? Is this a video? Is this a downloadable? Is this, where do I put it and where do I syndicate it out? But it starts with the content. Think about categorizing your content in 2 ways. I'm doing this with a financial services business at the moment. Way number 1 is they ask, you answer. Marcus Sheridan, go and read the book if you want. I get slapped around the face with it all the time. What are the questions that people are asking? How can you answer that? So for financial services, how do I consolidate my pensions or whatever it is? The second is topical and commentary. So financial services, DeepSeek came along, sell off of NVIDIA shares, create some content about that because people are looking at that. So think about the content, then think about, am I putting this in LinkedIn? Am I putting it in Instagram? Am I doing a video? Am I doing it? Do as much as you can. Create one piece of content, syndicate it as many times as you can. That's me.
Thank you very much, Michael. Tom?
Yeah, so I think, aside from the content production, because there is content out there on that, plenty of tools for that side. I think in terms of distribution, understand your audience and how they consume this type of content. So which platforms are they using? Then how can you attach those magnets, which someone's already mentioned, to that content? So you want them to take some kind of action off the back of viewing your content. So for example, on TikTok nowadays, people are doing, put a specific word in the comments, or send me a DM with a specific word so that I know that you've watched this video, and then I can share the right piece of content or the right follow-up activity with you. So think about how you want to attach that kind of CTA or that magnet to the content on a case-by-case basis. And then I think with this community in particular, it's obviously this competitive market, but there are topics and subjects which benefit all farmers, right? Obviously pest control is your whole business. So try to create a way of enabling people to share the content with each other, because it's very community based. So therefore the content needs to be positioned in a way where it's beneficial to everyone. So the more you share this with your neighboring farms, the more everyone benefits. So try to focus on that angle if you want some kind of virality to come from the back end of the community.
Thank you very much, Tom. Last but not least, Zohe, please.
Hi. So in terms of the sort of content creation, I would focus on, I've only got a minute, create your plan for 30 days, split it up between tofu, mofu, and bofu content. The top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. 70% for tofu, 70% for tofu, 20% for mofu, and 10% bofu. And plan that out for 30 days, and then publish on all networks.
Well, that is very good stuff. Thank you very much, Zohe. My input on this is very simple. Make a list of 100 farms, like small sort of family farms, call them up, because you can find, it's not too difficult to find numbers for farms nowadays. Call them up, literally all of them, and try to speak to all of them. You may not obviously speak to all of them, and try and find out what are their biggest sort of blind spots on this stuff that you're working on. Once you've got that idea, once you've got some answers from them, then follow some of the brilliant stuff that the panelists have mentioned here. And in terms of producing, literally all you need is your phone to use as a camera, and something, whether it's Kata or whether it's, I don't know, some other AI stuff that will work out images and cartoons or whatever, or animations or whatever you want to put in there, basically. But literally just use your phone and whatever imagery you need to attach to it, and just share it out there. And actually share both that, and make sure that the captions is on all of those shares, so that people can read it, like read the subtitles, listen to it, and find a way that people can listen to it whilst using their devices for other things as well. So try and get all that combined. But again, speak to people first, find out what they need, and that's how you share it. In terms of how to share it, you can do two things. One, these 100 people that you've spoken to, you can then go back and say, look, thank you very much for that sort of insight you gave me. We're now doing this on whatever channel platform you are, and I'd love you to get access to it for free, or however you want to do it. But also you may want to partner. A lot of the chaps here on stage have said, find somebody to partner that you can distribute that and take it from there. We are now 2 minutes over the line, so unfortunately we will have to call it a day. I'm really sorry we've kept you so long, gentlemen, but I'm very grateful for your help today. And thanks obviously to everyone that tunes in via the live streams, especially those of you that came here on Microsoft Teams, and Sunny that asked a question interactively. Just remember, so two quick announcements. Well, no, actually just one announcement. We run 6 regular sessions: Mondays talent, Tuesdays product and tech, Wednesdays growth, Thursdays fundraising, second Friday of the month UK startup law, third Friday of the month UK startup finances. That all from 12 to 1 p.m. UK time, and you can RSVP to any of them via our site startup to scaleup.club. Once you're on that site, you may also want to join our WhatsApp group. Top and bottom of the site, there's a WhatsApp icon. Click on that and you'll be able to join us. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for startup fundraising. We've got a brilliant list of investors that will join us on stage. And if you found any value in this, please feel free to share it. And remember, for those of you that tuned in via the live streams, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, thank you that you did. But next time you really want to join us on Microsoft Teams. And by the way, it's audio only, which means you can join via any device, any platform, and anywhere. So let's do that. But again, thank you very much. And as far as my parting words are concerned, I'm not going to ask, normally I ask the panelists, but I'm aware that we've been going for a while now, so I'll just wrap it up. But just remember, the startup journey can be both exciting, but also quite challenging. So try to have some fun in the meantime, and be kind to yourself and everyone else for that matter too. Otherwise, thank you all again. Hopefully see you all for tomorrow's startup fundraising Q&A. Thank you and God bless. Bye-bye for now.